these competitors are definitely feeling the heat today. And there they go, neck and neck around the corner. Can he beat him? He beats him, yes! Unlike any other racing series, you are going to see door-to-door contact out there, so don't worry about it. It's part of the game. These guys can handle it. These trucks may have four-wheel drive, but they're definitely not forgiving out there on the track. And there he goes, on two wheels. Can he recover it? He lands it. These racers definitely have a lot to handle. These trucks boasting up to 900 horsepower and 20 inches of travel. Hey man, if you can't handle the heat, just stay out of the kitchen. It's going to get rough out there.
Good evening and welcome to the iRacing Short Course Series round number 3. We are at Wild Horse tonight. Let me go ahead and get my co-host in the booth with me. Tonight with me in the booth I have Josh Billiter, and it should be up and working this time so we don't have to worry about all the issues we had before. How you doing, Josh?
Pretty good, man. How are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. All right, so let me go ahead and run through the info and format on this, and then we'll get started with a little bit of the commentary. So, a little bit of info about this series. Host is Connor Berry and Bronson Charlemont. Oh man, I'm having a hard time with that. Bronson C. Broadcasting is done by Death by Moose Media. Commentary is me, Randall Alvarez, and in the booth with me is going to be Josh Billiter. And the format for tonight's race, we're going to be racing at Lucas Oil Wild Horse. Pro 4 trucks is what we will be driving. Qualifying is going to be a whopping 10 minutes, which is almost over right now. Feature is going to be 20 laps, stages of 10 and 10. And we have a full field tonight. Give me 1 second while I pull up the timing screen. Looks like we have a total of 13 drivers. So take that back, 14 drivers. So yeah, we got a pretty big field out there. So this is going to be a good race. So, how you doing, Josh?
Pretty good, man. I've just got a little bit of a head cold.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man. It's that time of the season, right?
There you go.
Oh man, so we're at Wild Horse. Have you been around this track before?
I have not, so I'm excited to see these.
Out of all the dirt courses, this is my favorite, just because it's got some little triplets, and it's just the way it's designed. It's not as fast as Wild West is, just because Wild West has some more straights. I would assume, like longer straights. This one has a lot more turns. These guys really have to work those corners. It's going to be a lot of action and really cool. This is one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah, I was about to say it kind of looks more like a motocross track than what a
it's got a lot of tabletops.
Like
there's no real flat area for these guys, so it's a lot of bouncing. They get pushed around the cage inside, so it's pretty rough for them. All right,
it'll be a good race, that's for sure.
Yeah, it should be a good race. But once again, the first hairpin in the beginning is always the toughest. Luckily, there is a turn before that, so it's going to spread out the field a little bit more before that hairpin, unlike the first one where that hairpin was your first run into. These guys have a small turn right before they get to the hairpin, so it should be a little easier on them and not piling up in that corner. Let's go ahead and bring in our first interview for tonight. Our pre-race interview is going to be Mickey Thomas. Let's go ahead and drag him in here and see if he's got a mic. Uh-oh, his mic's muted. Hey, Mickey, it's Booth. Can you unmute your mic? I think we're going to have to take him down to the interview room again. All right, I'm gonna drag us down there. Hey, Mickey, can you hear me now?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yep. Hey, so we see you running some laps right now. We just want to get the interview done before the qualifying's over. We're going to go ahead and jump into your cockpit, and when you get to the start-finish, let me know, and we'll run it through with you. How you feeling about tonight's track, and how's it handling out there for you?
Pretty good. Got a decent lap in, but I just got bumped to 4th, so I got some work to do here.
That's not too bad. You got Luke in front of you, Zachary Drapkin, and then looks like you got Mitchell, who's running up in the first place. So
yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to touch Mitchell. He's been pretty fast this round at last. So
you guys got to duel him in the beginning. You can't let him get away from you guys.
Yep, yeah, we got to push him hard early and try to get him behind early and play catch up. But yeah, we'll see. Should be another fun race.
Yeah, I definitely think so. This is one of my favorite tracks. So as you come around this big bowl right here and come into the back straight, you want to talk us through how you're going to take some of the laps and how you're going to handle this course?
Yeah, really just kind of try to stay right on the edge of the cushion all the way around the track, especially turn 1, get a good run out of there. Right here, just hard on the brake, get the truck rotated and come right across the bottom of the corner there. Trying to get a good drive off. This is probably the most tricky corner of the track, for me at least, but you want to get enough speed to try to double over those rhythms right there and keep your speed through this last turn.
And you honestly hit the right spot. A lot of people come out of that corner really wide, and they go from the left to the right, which then doesn't set them up for that bowl. You really have to, you got to finish that corner really tight so that you can pretty much cross those triplets really easily.
Yep, exactly.
It looks like you got a good method out there, just kind of watching your lines. Is the reason you're not trying to get so close to the inside corner on that hairpin?
Which one? This
the
corner
first one
here?
at the top of the hill? Oh, at the top of the hill.
No, probably just off the line a little bit.
All right.
Tight as possible there is usually the best way around it.
Feel you on that. Well, we'll let you get to it. Thanks for popping in the booth and talking to us. Best of luck out to you on the race, man, and hopefully you guys can catch up to Mitchell. I'll be sure to hook up like a tie down to the front of his, or to the back of his bumper to the front of your car, so he was dragging you around, right?
That's what I need.
All right,
cool, man. All right, thanks.
Best of luck.
See ya.
All right, there you have it. Well, while we still have a minute, let's go ahead and run through the course real fast, talk about some of the drivers out there, and give them a minute to highlight themselves. So, starting off with Mickey Thomas running that My Stick lubricants. He's running in the number 44. We have Mitchell DeLong running in the number 24, all white, and on the right are white exterior, purple interior with the Ultra Motorsports. Zachary Drapkin running in the Red Line Racing. Looks like he's no longer sponsored by Mountain Dew. And we have Leighton Kramer in his BAM Battle. Looks like these guys are getting ready to grid. Oh, no, BAM was just resetting. We have Brady in, it looks like Brandy Proudfoot in the, I believe this is his car. It's going to be the white and black 22. Connor out here, Connor P, in the nice Vision Wheel. Trenton, it looks like he's glitching out a little bit in the CalGuard. That's a really cool wrap right there. He's going to be running in the number 17. And also Connor, I didn't mention his number. He's the number 16. Roland Johns, having some glitches right there. Roland Johns running in the number 2. Nice, good side shot of that Roland Johns Racing. But we also have Talon Martin in the Pennzoil and Red Bull number 11. We have Daniel C in the number 73, but he is currently not in the race right now. We have the number 590. That's going to be Casey Eagleston. We have Ethan Albert. Looks like all these guys are glitching around, or they're getting ready to grid. So it doesn't want to stick for me when I grab these guys. Yeah, it looks like everyone's getting ready to grid, so they're all pulling off to the side. All right, we have Darlin Gibson in the number 6, Ethan Albert in that sweet paint scheme of the number 577. So this is going to be a pretty full race out here. All right, Josh. So, from watching last race, who do you think you got your money on for tonight?
I would say probably Mitchell De Hong. He looked really fast in that last one, so I'll be keeping an eye on him in this.
He's definitely one to keep your eye on. I'm probably gonna say Luke had a good shot keeping up with him. I'd probably put my my money on the underdog right now, which is probably gonna be Luke. But we'll see what happens.
Was it Luke that finished second last week?
Yes, Luke did finish second. He was kind of pot on his tail after the restart. He did lose him in the first stage, but after that restart, he definitely was right behind him the whole way through, all the way to the end.
Yeah, that was a really good finish there last weekend.
Yeah, that was a solid finish. All right. Wow, that is a full field. So something about these trophy trucks on a full field, it gets dangerous. Every single corner for the first 2-3 laps is going to be close to a pile up. Just because you're pitching it sideways for a lot of these corners, and when you pitch it sideways, you lose a lot of your control. You're kind of just letting fate take the wheel a little bit. You are controlling it just a tad bit, just with your RPMs and kind of like where you're throwing it in. But for a good second and a half, you're sending it in for a short period, and hopefully you really don't hit someone too hard. But there will be a little pushing. There will be a lot of touching fenders. So we'll see what happens. Just waiting for the gridding to finish. There we go. My timing screen glitched out on me.
Yeah, I think that must have been something with iRacing. Mine glitched out too.
Yeah. iRacing has been doing a lot of updates recently, so this could just be part of their updates.
Yeah, it could be a little bug we're having to deal with there.
Yeah, I think so, because my cameras aren't responding the way they should.
Yeah, the only ones I have right now are Chopper, Scenic, and TV1.
Alright. Pace car is off. Let's get ready for the start. As they go into the green flag. Oh, that was a pile up. A couple guys being turned around that corner. Mitch able to break away from the pack. Zach right behind him. As they come into the... oh, looks Zach like he's blinking out there as they come into the jump. We have Mitchell and then Luke. These guys are side by side right now, fighting for first and second. Zach trying to beat him up to that second place. Zach probably with a little bit of better position on the outside for that bowl, but those inside guys are definitely pulling away from him. And here we go. This is where Mitchell's doing what he needs to do, is getting away from the pack. Looks like we had a little bit of contact between Brady and Mickey right there.
Got really good racing from third on back.
Oh yeah, some solid pushing. These guys are doing a good job trying to make their way through the field. Looks like Zach's getting caught up with the 15 on his rear wheel. He was trying to ride up his fender. And there we have it, some solid jumps all the way through. And Mitch doing what he does best. Look at that gap. He's already got an almost 2-second lead on on Luke there. Mickey catching up to him just slightly. But that's tough. You know, when you're trying to fight for position, that really slows you down a lot. Even though you might have some faster lap times than some of the guys out there, it starts to drag you down a little bit. It looks like Zach getting a little loose out there. And a nice send from the number 15. He came in hot on that corner. And you can do that sometimes. On turn 1, you can come in and send it in really hot but low and kind of skip a couple people. And we have number 22 pushing the 54, spinning him a little bit. Now, Josh, you might not know this, but through those triplets, you really don't see much. If you're in the cockpit, you're just bouncing all over the place. Like, all of these guys, you know, you see a lot of contact and a lot of pushing from people out in the track right now. But when you're getting into that section where you're coming around those corners and then into the triplets, you're bouncing around so much you really can't control, you know, where you're going. You just kind of got to, you know, get your wheel pointed in one direction. Hopefully it gets you there. And you can see right there the 22 at the top of that hairpin just got sent out to the corner.
Oh yeah, I was watching a few different camera views there. We got, I mean, all the way around the track, we got some really good races.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys that are fighting for first and second right now are shifting back and forth. So you look at Leighton, and then who's number 15, and then in fourth place we have Trenton Burley, or Briley. In the number 17. Those guys have been fighting back and forth. Trenton making his way up. He was a little farther behind the pack, but now he's, you know, moved his way up into fourth. He's blinking out a little bit, which will cause problems if these guys are piled up, but they're still doing a good job fighting out there. Mickey Thomas trying to reel him back in. But I think Mitchell's just got too much of a gap going on. And you can kind of watch as he does those corners. It's so smooth. He comes in, pitches it sideways, rides that exterior cushion, and boom. Oh, Luke kicking out his back end and getting caught up by, I believe that was the number 17. Take that back. That was the number 16, I believe. Let me just make sure real fast. Yeah, that was the number 16 that caught Luke's back end. Now, you guys might be wondering why you see some of the trucks flashing in and out. That's what we call like desyncing or net coding. That happens when you don't have as stable of an internet connection. So what happens is iRacing kind of generates where your line in place would be from, you know, your computer's information. The moment your computer is able to reconnect to the network or reconnect to the iRacing server, it then flashes you back into where you're supposed to be. That can be a little dangerous because sometimes people are running the same lines as you and they'll be in the same spot as you're supposed to appear, and that can cause accidents. So when you see people kind of net coding or flashing about, as a driver, you need to be aware of that, and you need to kind of keep your distance from them, because what will happen is you'll appear inside of them or they'll appear inside of you, and that will cause a collision and throw you pretty much everywhere. I've seen it shoot people up into the air. It's just a habit of having slower speeds for your internet, and sometimes it causes a huge problem. So you can see right now the 17 is the one that's kind of blinking around right now. And that, for some of those guys that need to get around him, it's kind of a dangerous position you're in, because you don't know if he blinks out and you're right next to him, are you going to appear inside of him or not?
Yeah, the guys that are behind him are going to have to be really, really careful here. I mean, you could easily, like you said, be right under him when he blinks back in.
Yeah, and that sometimes launches you up in the air or just shoots you guys in opposite directions.
Yeah, I've been on the losing end of that battle before.
Yeah. And I was incorrect about the lap count. Apparently they made some other adjustments. So we're at 25 laps. Caution should be coming out soon for the middle of the race. And there goes Mitchell up in the front. And he just finished the first place for the first stage. There we go. That was a solid run by those guys.
Yeah, Mitchell is absolutely dominating this race. He's about 0.4 of a second quicker right now than second.
Yeah.
Guy.
That's some insane driving he's got there. All right, so let's go ahead and take this moment to thank our sponsors for tonight. For tonight's race, we'd like to thank our sponsors. So it's going to be, once again, CBR Performance for sponsoring this race. And then followed up by Sparco, Ultra Wheels, AIM, CDZ Apparel, Sunset Designs. Thank you for sponsoring and, really putting in the effort to allow these guys to win something out of this race. We are the halfway point. So let's talk a little bit of what these guys have on the line. So CBR is putting in $20,000, or I did it again, $2,000 towards the pot, which means first place gets $1,000, second place gets $500, and third place gets $250 for the champions. Sparco is putting in a good goodie bag for all the top 3 champions, which is going to be pretty cool. Ultra Wheel Designs is giving a free wheel set to the champion. AIM is giving the winner of each race a $200 gift card or $100 cash. So whoever comes out of this race, gets that. And then CDZ Apparel is doing a 6 Pit Crew T-shirt for the champion, and then Sunset Designs is doing a free wrap for the champion. So a lot of these guys, race outside of this. So for their mod cars, for their buggies, for their trophy trucks, whatever dirt car they have, or whatever type of racing they do, they have an opportunity to win wheels, full wrap for their vehicle, and a lot of other fun things. So definitely a lot going on there. So from looking at the race, who do you think is still going to have? You think Mitchell's going to be able to pull it off in the second round?
Yeah, right now I really don't see anyone really competing with Mitch. So it's gonna be, but it'll be a good. I'm sure it'll be a good.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same line as you. I think Mitch has it in the bag right now. Luckily, the 44 was able to move up his way in the line. So if he needs to get a lot closer to Mitchell, to be honest, on this pace lap. He needs to be hugging his bumper, because the moment that green flag drops, he needs to be out of it with him. Right now, I think he's just leaving too much space. Look at see if we can go over. Look at Zach riding in behind the number 15 Leighton. You need to be that close to these guys. You want a fast restart, and you don't want to give this guy space.
Yeah, from second on back, they need to be right up on Mitchell's bumper to get a good restart and hopefully beat him into turn 1.
Exactly. Or just give him a little push. You could always hope for that too. If you're that close to him, hopefully he just throws a bad corner, slows down, and you're able to get on his inside and give him just a little bit of push out of there. And looks like the pace car is dropping off. Get ready for the green flag.
Yeah, it looks like he moved up a little now.
And the green flag is out. Let's see how they handle turn 1. Oh, and we have a dive on the inside by the number 17. That is not going to pay off for him, though. That could have cost it for the 44, though. That hard of a dive into that corner could have tossed him off to the side. And it looks like we have the 16 trying to do a nosedive into the turn 2. 44 hot on the tail. Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
We were going for the same comment there. 44 still, right there battling for the lead.
I think he might be able to catch up to him. He's setting up nice lines into the turn. And we have a caution. Looks like a little too much damage out there. Someone might have gotten rolled. Let's go ahead and roll a carnage report and catch up to that. Did you see what turn that happened at?
I was actually looking for it right now.
I want to say it was turn 2. But I'm watching turn 3 because a lot of those guys didn't clear through there just yet.
Yeah, we had a couple roll over in turn 3.
Is it turn 3?
Yeah, that second left-hander.
Second.
The hairpin.
Oh, at the hairpin?
Yeah.
Okay. See if we can get to that before it's... Oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about. All right, so we're going to go ahead and follow in the number 11 on this one. But if you watch the number... Oh, 577 rolls the 11 and also rolls the number 2, Ronald Jones. And that is going to be our caution report for tonight. All right, so once again, thank you to all our sponsors for tonight's race. That's once again going to be CBR Performance, Sparco, AIM, CDZ Apparel, Ultra Wheels, and Sunset Designs. If you guys want to keep up with more racing action, don't forget to check out Death by Moose Media on YouTube, Instagram. I stay more up to date on YouTube just because that's easier for me to manage. Instagram's tough sometimes. But we do have a lot of action coming down the pipeline, and a lot of these leagues will be doing a lot more as the seasons progress. So this is gonna be a lot of fun. You'll definitely be with a channel that's gonna be growing as much as it can, and always looking for an opportunity. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, follow through, because we're gonna have a lot of action coming your way. So this is going to give Mickey another chance to really catch up to him, and he needs to really stay behind Mitchell. I can't stress that more. The number 11 going a little off the wire there.
Yeah, jumped onto the back of someone.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. I know you're trying to do lap rounds and catch up to the front lead lap, but no need to be hauling through there, possibly damaging some of the lead drivers. When passing lead drivers, please be careful out there. You should not be damaging these guys as they are in the front. All right, this should be it. 6 laps to go. We should be getting, yep, pace car dropping off. Now the restart is all on Mitchell.
Let's see if Mickey can hang with him here.
I think Mickey can. Mickey's hot on his bumper right now. And the green flag's out. Clean jumps all the way through. Inside dive by the 73. And we have some side-by-sides. This top hairpin is going to get really hairy. I'm going to go ahead and stick with it so you guys can see what happens.
We got a battle for the lead here.
Yeah, definitely. And they're pushing into the triplets. Oh, going a little sideways there.
Yeah, a little contact.
Yeah. Just watch the extension on those trucks. It's pretty insane how much travel they have. All right, 5 laps to go. Mickey not wanting to give up, that position right behind him. He wants to keep reeling him back in, but it's a tough run. He's, especially with, what's coming up right now, he's got to find that inside to push on him. But what happens if you push too hard on that inside, it throws you too far to the left, and you can't finish the triplets properly.
He may actually be better off just kind of staying on the outside right on his bumper and kind of forcing him into using too much speed in the corner to make him a...
Yeah, I think you might be right on that. And honestly, landing with all 4 tires on some of those tabletops is really important too, because those tabletops are really aggressive and they're right before turns, so you need to make sure you have all 4 contacting before you prep yourself into that next turn. And Mickey with a clean push. Can he get the inside on him? Oh, here we go! And side by side, Mitchell with some amazing speed out of that corner, landing on 1 tire right there. Wow, that was insane. Able to keep the lead and push Mickey off from taking that inside from him.
It looks like Mickey's going to go for it right here.
Yeah, he's trying to get really aggressive on some of those corners and dive in. He needs to be careful though, especially inside right here. This is where he kind of he wants to ride it through, ride his bumper, ride it through. Don't get too aggressive. Those triplets will really screw you. All right, there we go. As they come into the finishing straight, 3 laps to go. It's going to go down to 2. Still hot on his tail. Definitely within reach too. This is not, not out of the realm of him getting in front of him.
Oh no, just one small mistake will lose him.
Yeah, and there it is. He came out a little too hot. Oh, it's getting close. And that's like you were saying, he just needs to ride behind him, put some pressure, cause him to drive too aggressive, and that might just make that small little opening that he needs to really slide in on him. And we're on our final lap right now. This is, the do or die moment. If you have any tricks up your sleeve, now's to use them. Mitchell doing a great job defending, just kind of riding through, not really phased by having Mickey behind him. He was driving a little aggressive when Mickey was pushing on the inside on him, but now he's kind of tailored off. He's still behind him. And as they come into the finishing lap, boom! Solid finish again by both the drivers. Mitchell D coming in first, second place going to Mickey Thompson, and third place going to Connor Perez. Wow. That was some solid driving and a great battle for the finish from some of these guys. That was insane.
Yes, it was. These trucks always, they always provide good racing.
Oh yeah, some amazing racing is done by these trucks, and they're Pro 4s, which are a lot of fun. You're talking about 4-wheel drive, not the 2-wheel drive. 2-wheel drives, I enjoy the Pro 2s honestly a little bit more, just because they're harder to handle. But the Pro 4s are a blast because these things are all power and all traction at all times. So it really allows the drivers to shine and do what they can out there. And as Mitchell goes for a victory lap right now, let's go ahead and pull the winners of the race into the booth and talk to them. Let's go ahead and pull in Connor, our third place winner. I'm going to go ahead and move you down to interviews. Hey, Connor, this is Booth. You copy?
Yes, sir.
Dude, solid run. I know you were trying to bridge that gap between second place that you had. How'd you feel about kind of getting caught up in the front pack and trying to bridge that gap?
It was a tough start in mid-pack. It was just so many trucks, and it was just a little chaotic to start. Pretty happy just to be able to pull it back to the podium after all.
No, you did a great job. Honestly, that truck pack in the middle is dangerous. No matter what anyone says out there, it is just tough for anyone to get through that. Everyone expects people not to push too hard, but it just happens because people want to make openings. They want to shoot for the inside, and you get punted sometimes.
Yeah, I got a couple pushes that I didn't love, but it's racing, it's trucks, it's fun. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a blast to watch you guys, and you guys fought hard for your positions, especially you. You did a good job. I believe you're the one that you're running. You had yellow numbers, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you caught the back end of Luke on one of those turns and turned him a little bit, but it is nothing you can really do about it. That's something that I think people might not really understand is when you're on, this course especially, coming out of those triplets, coming in those first 2 turns before the triplets, you've already sent it. There's not much control. It's just kind of whatever happens, and you caught the back end of Luke and turned him a little bit.
I apologize. I haven't got a chance to look at any of the incidents yet, so I don't want to.
Oh, it's
comment on anything too much, but
it was out of the triplets, dude. There's not much you can do about that. Your cars are bouncing so much. You just kind of got to point in a direction. Hopefully nothing gets in your way.
Point and pray, point and pray.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, great driving out there. Can't wait to see you at round 4. Do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank for the race?
Yeah, for sure. Vision, Wheel, Polaris Razor, Jim Bieber's Down Dirty Radio Show. We got a whole bunch.
Do you want to tell us a little about Vision? What exactly are they?
It's a wheel company. They make all sorts of great products for all sorts of vehicles, so if you guys want to check them out.
Awesome. Yeah, I was a little curious. I saw that and I was like, oh, Vision Wheel. Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's been cool to have them on our program this year for Jim Beaver Esports. We're on the Daytona 24 right now. They're the main partner for that tonight. So
That's awesome.
after this, I have another stint in the 24.
Well, good luck, man. I wish I could. I want to watch it. But I want to watch some people streaming it because it's a little bit different view than that from the broadcast booth. But good luck on the 24, and hopefully you do a good job out there, man.
All right, thanks, man.
No problem. You have a good evening. All right, next is going to be Mickey Thomas, the person we brought in for the interview. Hey, man. You almost had him.
I know. I was giving him everything I got, but didn't quite get him.
You had one shot that was so close, but he just when you dive in on the inside like that, you scrub a lot.
Door.
Yeah, you scrub a lot of speed off. But it was close.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna get him one of these races.
Yeah, hopefully. I think you
Keep working at it. Yeah.
honestly, I think you could have gotten this race. I think maybe giving him a little too much space off the restart.
Yeah, probably. He did kind of get a jump on me.
Yeah.
Caught me off guard a little bit, but yep. Oh well. I'm trying to be, a little bit cautious and steer clear of any black flags.
Oh
too,
yeah,
so.
totally understand that. But I'd say next restart, if you're behind his bumper,
Just
ride
push
it.
him. Yeah.
Because you
For
need to
sure.
be. I don't. Have you done any NASCAR stuff like that?
No, not really.
Okay, you
No.
need to be inches away from these guys' bumpers on those restarts, especially because the restart is on the driver. So
Right.
it's when he calls it. So the moment he jumps the gun out of that straight, it's
That's when you go, yeah.
you got to be there. But other than
Yep.
that, dude, you did a great job recovering for some of those restarts and just keeping up with them and working your way up the field. Fourth, and then I saw you drop back a little bit and then work back up.
Yep.
Solid driving.
Yeah, it's good. I think I don't know. It's like a second, third, and second. I think for the season. So
No, that's good.
Got to keep it going. Hopefully Mitchell makes a mistake one of these races.
He'll eventually make a mistake.
I think so.
But if he doesn't, honestly, second and third place is nothing to scoff at. And to be behind his bumper the whole time, that is some solid driving.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Well, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank for the race?
Yeah, just again, all the guys that help out the series. Just a pretty cool deal they got going on here. So have a lot of fun with it.
Well, thank you for coming out tonight, man. I'll see you at round 4, and I hope you have a good evening.
Sounds good. Thanks. See you.
All right, last racer. Hey, Mitchell, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing well.
All right, so you had the 44 hot on your tail the whole way through, and he found an opening and he was pushing for it, but you closed it pretty fast. How'd you feel about having him right behind you for most of the race?
Yeah, no, absolutely. He did a pretty fantastic job. Really kept me on my toes. I felt pretty decent early on in the run before the halfway point.
Yeah.
But the way the track wore in, I just wasn't really expecting it to drive in that way. So I struggled to adapt after that caution, and we were really close. We had some really clean racing, so big shout out to him. That was a lot of fun. So yep, good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, by wearing in, what changed for the track for you out there? Just a little curious.
Mainly the main line that we've been running just got pretty blue grooved, so you had to try to find a way to get the car rotated and kind of straight line it over that blue groove to still get some grip. And I don't really have the experience to know exactly how to do that yet here, but this is a good learning one for future rounds of what I need to work on.
Yeah, and Wild Horse is one of those tracks where half of the races you kind of just pointing it in the right direction. Hopefully it gets there, because you have the triplets, you have those 2 turns at the top, hairpin at the top, and then you have a quick turn to your right, and then triplets. A lot of guys have a hard time recovering out of those triplets, or getting out of that, I would say turn 3 at the bottom, and getting into those triplets properly usually causes a lot of problems.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point there, because the line that you take for qualifying or something, or setting a good lap, can be very different from what you have to do if you have a guy right behind you.
Oh yeah.
You need to set up for that triple section. You don't really want to go wide because someone could just stick it in and like hit you out of the way. So you need to kind of be aware of that. So it makes the racing very difficult here, but it was pretty good fun.
No, definitely agree with you, man. Solid driving the whole way through. You're a blast to see out on the track. I wish Bobby Sandett was here to give you a little bit of pressure too, but it looks like he was busy tonight. But yeah, hell of a run out tonight. Any sponsors you'd like to thank before we give you the boot out of here?
No, just shout out to the guys for letting me run again in the series, and yeah, had a blast getting ready for the Daytona 24 or my final stint. So kind of going back and forth, and yeah, shout out to the people that let me do it. So
awesome.
That's it.
Hey, you gonna be streaming the Daytona 24?
Yes, sir.
Hey, do you want to shoot me the link? I want to definitely watch that and follow it.
Yeah, sure thing. I'll post it to you.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Well, thank you for coming out, throwing out a great race tonight. Can't wait to see you round 4, and hopefully you get some pressure from Mickey and you have a good race out there.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, Josh. Any last words?
Yeah. It was a pretty good race. Dominated the first half by Mitchell, and then pretty good race for the lead, and then for third on back the second half.
Yeah, solid race the whole way through for Mitchell. Mickey did a good job moving up. The field shifted quite a bit for a lot of the drivers, actually. A lot of the guys that were in fourth and or third, fourth, and fifth, they kind of got rotated back a lot just because they got caught up in the battle for, I would say, the mid pack or front of the mid pack. And that battle's really scary. You have a lot of the guys in the rear sending it in, and you're trying to set up your line, and those guys will dive in on the inside of the opening. So you're trying to send it in a clean line around some of these corners, and the guys in the rear pack sees an opening, he's just going to send it sometimes, and you need to close that door. But those first couple of laps, it's really hard to close that door in on someone because you're so packed that you just kind of get pushed to the outside, even though you're trying to run a clean line. So you really want to be in that front pack or trying to push your way through. And a couple of these guys that paid off. Mitchell being up in the front, able to stay away from some of that carnage, and then Mickey being able to push his way through. And same thing with the number 16 and 15; those guys pushed their way through too. So solid driving by a lot of guys out there. Connor in the number 16. I hope everyone has a good night. I hope they enjoyed the race. We'll see you guys at round 4. And if you guys aren't watching the 24 hours for Daytona, I believe it's the Daytona, right? Josh? Yeah, so if you're not watching the 24-hour Daytona for iRacing, go check it out. It's a blast. These guys set up, intervals where they race, almost 6-hour splits. So, and they do like 2 or 3 teammates sometimes. So check it out. It's pretty cool. These guys put a lot of time and effort into this. And I'll see you guys Sunday for the Core Racing Series.